The head of the Christian Democrats in the European Parliament, Manfred Weber, certifies that the British Prime Minister is irresponsible. Boris Johnson should finally negotiate seriously instead of betting on political games. The European Union will never give up the integrity of its internal market. In the Brexit dispute, the leader of the European People's Party, the EPP, in the European Parliament, Manfred Weber, accused British Prime Minister Boris Johnson of irresponsibility. The Black Peter game, as we would say it in German, or blame game as you all would call it, from London is pure show and does not get anyone any further, said the German CSU politician to the newspapers of the Funke Media Group. It is irresponsible of Prime Minister Boris Johnson to continue betting on political games instead of finally negotiating the matter seriously. Johnson said on Friday after the EU summit that he would agree to a hard break without a treaty with the EU on January 1st. The EU evidently has no interest in a free trade agreement desired by Great Britain, such as with Canada. The British government said that British negotiator David Frost had asked the EU colleague Michel Barnier not to come to London on Monday as planned. However, observers assume that the negotiations will nevertheless continue even if Barnier did not go to London today. The European Union will never give up the integrity of its internal market, Weber said. Everyone who wants to sell their products with us has to adhere to our standards. There won't be a second Singapore on our doorstep. The criticism is directed primarily against Prime Minister Boris Johnson. This stands in front of the fragments of his policy. He will have to explain to the British in the coming months why the Brexit promises were dishonest, Weber said. The EU will not conclude any contracts with partners who do not take existing contracts seriously. Nevertheless, one remains ready to negotiate, said Weber. And we want an agreement, we want a close partnership in the future too. Britain's government sees the European Union as its turn in the stalled negotiations. The chances of an agreement have recently decreased because the EU is not moving, said British Cabinet Minister Michael Gove on the weekend to Sky News. Both sides would have to compromise to get a deal. The EU does not do this, however, he said. In a guest article for the Sunday Times newspaper, Gove wrote that Britain was increasingly well prepared for a no-deal scenario. It's not my preferred route, he said, but it will be taken if the country is too restricted in its freedom. Issues in the negotiations between Great Britain and the EU on future trade relations are compliance with social, labour and environmental standards, as well as fishing rights. There is also disagreement about rules for arbitration in the event that one side violates the agreement. This has recently come to the fore because a British law on domestic trade, especially with Northern Ireland, undermines parts of the withdrawal agreement that is already in force. The EU reacted with indignation to the proposed law. If there is no agreement, there's a threat of a no-deal Brexit on December 31st still. The transition phase ends on December 31st of this year, during which the UK still has free access to the EU internal market and exports from the EU can be delivered to the UK without restrictions. Experts believe that the UK economy would suffer most from a hard Brexit, but the export-strong German industry would also be affected. The negotiations should actually continue on Monday, as I said, but Frost told Barnier not to come. But from other sources we hear they are doing that on the phone instead, so it doesn't make a real difference there. And however, observers anyway assume that the negotiations will continue anyway. And if you now want to know more about European or global politics, YouTube has chosen another of my videos right here for you in the end screen, right next to your chance to subscribe to my channel, which I hope you already did. 4,000 people already did that, and I'm really grateful. I'll see you in my next video. Click and enjoy. Viel Spaß!